Don't put words in my mouth. I said what I said, plain and simple. I said it. Y'all don't know anything about the man I'm with. You don't know. And now she's trying to twist things just because I admitted I'm unsure about my baby daddy. But I owe nobody an explanation. Depending on who's watching on TikTok, the situation reads like a 42-year-old man tangled with a 27-year-old woman raising 7 kids. And then there's Mama Benny herself. She's the woman at the center of the storm, who has gone viral over the past year. At just 27, she's navigated a life with 7 children, 2 baby daddies, and the heartbreak of a child lost. On paper, that's a lot, but context matters. She's never married, and despite the challenges, she's carving her own path. Growing up, she often felt unloved, and that sense of struggle has shaped the woman and mother she's become today. Mama Benny's story is harrowing and complex. She has shared that her father allegedly tried to exploit her as a child, an experience that left deep scars and shaped her sense of being unloved. Growing up with that trauma, she began having children as a teenager, and now, at 27, she's raising 7 kids. Naturally, that has drawn criticism online. People judge her for the number of children, her past, and even for posting about her life on TikTok. One creator, Ish Ain't Sweet Podcast, specifically called her out, arguing she shouldn't turn her back on her baby daddy just because she's earning from social media. Mama Benny responded firmly. She isn't turning her back on him, but her content focuses on herself and her children, not the dynamics with her baby daddy. Legally, she's technically single, and her teenage experiences, including a traumatic incident that left her paralyzed, add layers to her story that few truly understand. Before diving deeper, she asked viewers to like, subscribe, and hit notifications, noting it helps her YouTube algorithm. She also issued a disclaimer. Everything discussed is opinion-based, for entertainment, protected under fair use, and not a personal attack. She clarified she doesn't know these people personally and isn't responsible for anyone's emotional reactions. Her goal is simply to provide full context and insight into celebrity and influencer lives. With that, she addressed the recent online attention, noting that one creator has produced 23 videos dissecting her story, her life, and her experiences. Mama Benny opened up about her life with remarkable honesty, explaining that she's never come on the app asking for handouts. Her goal has always been to share her content and connect with viewers. All she requests is that people like and share her videos. Addressing the judgment about her having 6 children, she said that to her it's not unusual. Many people have large families. For her, the reason runs deeper. As a child, she felt unloved and longed for the affection she never received. I needed my kids, she explained. I was 14, searching for love, and my first baby daddy gave me that. Her children, she insists, are well cared for, happy, and loved. She's hands-on, making sure they're fed, active, and nurtured, emphasizing that she'll never give up on them. Observers have noted that having so many children at a young age is controversial, but some argue it's acceptable if a parent can provide for them independently, without seeking assistance. Benny herself acknowledged that part of the reason she had children was emotional. She was seeking love and connection her family never provided. Many women, she said, make similar choices, having children to fill an emotional void or to find someone who will love them unconditionally. However, there's a cautionary angle too. When a man repeatedly fathers children without commitment, it's worth considering his intentions. Benny shared that she had her first child at 14, with her first baby daddy being roughly the same age, underscoring how young she was navigating these life-altering experiences. Despite the challenges, she expressed gratitude to her supporters and those who understand her story. Mama Benny opened up about her journey with refreshing honesty, reflecting on the ups and downs of raising a large family while trying to create a life she never had. She expressed gratitude for both the positive and negative comments she receives online, emphasizing that at 26, she's simply doing her best to give her children love, stability, and a home. Nobody knows my story, she said, but I'm not here for sympathy. I put my big girl pants on and keep moving forward. Accountability, she stresses, has always been her mantra. Her challenges, her choices, and her children's lives are hers to manage, not anyone else's. Mama Beanie also opened up about a near-tragic moment from her past, getting shot at 14. She credits surviving that experience as a reason she cherishes her children so deeply, explaining that they're not just her kids, they're her family, her reason, her motivation. That love and dedication is evident in the way she manages her home, even when it goes viral. Clips of her cleaning her house, organizing her kids' rooms, and managing daily life have resonated with viewers, especially single parents who face similar struggles balancing work, childcare, and household duties. For many, her content isn't about rage bait. It's relatable and human. She candidly shared moments of managing the chaos at home, like tackling her children's messy rooms despite teaching them responsibility. "I tell my kids to clean up after themselves," she said, "but sometimes it's just too much, so I step in." She stressed the importance of teaching accountability while still taking care of what's necessary, highlighting the challenges of raising multiple children, including toddlers, in a busy household. Mama Beanie also touched on the scrutiny she faces about her personal life. When asked about her relationship status, she admitted she isn't married but is seeing someone. Some people criticized her for acting different now that she has a following and some income, assuming she must be leveraging her platform or distancing herself from the man. She explained it's more complicated. Sometimes, financial independence is necessary before leaving a relationship, and it's important for women to have their own resources. "Your man can be a provider," she said, "but make sure you're doing something for yourself too." Through it all, Mama Beanie's story is one of resilience, navigating judgment, surviving trauma, managing a large family, and striving to give her children the love she once missed, all while learning to balance personal autonomy and public scrutiny. Mama Beanie made a strong point about financial independence and self-sufficiency for women, especially moms. She emphasized that even if you're caring for your own children or babysitting for others, having your own income is key. It gives you freedom, security, and the ability to make choices without being trapped. "Don't be a stay-at-home mom who's waiting on allowance," she said. "Even if your partner isn't ready to put a ring on it, having a little money of your own ensures you're never completely dependent." And while she's in a relationship, she clarified that she's technically still single. Her wording left room for nuance. In her words, "If one man won't, another will." Her appearance and presentation also drew attention. Mama Beanie has been showing up polished, with hair, nails, makeup, and stylish outfits, and fans are here for it. During a casual interview at a hair salon, she was asked about her relationship status. She carefully navigated the question, clarifying that while she's seeing someone, she didn't make sweeping statements about being off the market. She spoke carefully, saying a lot without fully committing, which reflected her intention to protect her personal life while still engaging with her audience. The discussion then turned to advice on relationships. She stressed that if a woman is with a man just for stability or a roof over her head, that's one thing. But if you're with a good man who's just not financially where you are yet, support him. Don't abandon someone just because your circumstances have changed. Relationships, she noted, work both ways. Men and women both face challenges when roles shift and loyalty and understanding matter. Commentary channels also came under scrutiny. The host called out a creator from Ain't Sweet podcast, noting that while she was entertaining and insightful at times, she seemed to capitalize on viral moments. Her commentary about Mama Beanie gained traction. People were curious about Beanie, not necessarily because the podcast host herself was a star. Viral attention, the host explained, doesn't automatically equate to lasting influence. It's often about riding the wave of someone else's story. Finally, the host reflected on what comes with visibility. Mama Beanie has amassed hundreds of thousands of followers, and with that reach comes scrutiny. Sharing your life as a lifestyle influencer, rather than a purely beauty-focused creator, naturally invites curiosity and sometimes criticism about every detail. Negative comments are inevitable when millions of eyes are on you. The takeaway: if you put your life online, you open the door to both admiration and judgment, and learning to navigate that is part of being a content creator. Mama Beanie made a point that's both blunt and true. The very people who critique your life online are often the same ones putting money in your pockets. The nosy, curious, overly invested viewers. Those are the ones driving engagement, views, and income. It's not the people who mind their own business. It's the ones who want to know every detail about your life. And she repeated it for emphasis. Don't put words in her mouth. She's clear about her stance and unapologetic about her story. She stressed that people don't know the full picture of her relationships. Questions about whether she's married or off the market come up constantly. During a conversation with Hair Queen LA, she clarified that while she's seeing someone, she's not married, and any assumptions beyond that are misinterpretations. I never said that, she pointed out, highlighting how easily snippets can be twisted online. Mama Beanie also called out commentary creators like those on Ain't Sweet podcast for speaking about her life as if they have authority or insight. She reminded viewers, they don't know her reality, her partners, or the nuances of her experiences. She's been in relationships since she was 14, and her early relationships were with older men. Later, her partners' ages varied, but she's been handling her life on her own terms. It blows my mind that society rewards nastiness or laziness, or praises people simply for the number of kids they have, while real effort and responsibility often go unnoticed. I run my own business, I take care of my family, I work hard, and still some people complain. And now, there's this narrative being spun about me and my kids that's completely unfair. Don't put words in my mouth. I said what I said. I'm not cheating. I'm not doing anything shady. If I can afford to stand on my own and make decisions about my life, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Mama Beanie, for example, recently broke down a bit on Live, sharing that she doesn't want to air her relationship details. Her focus is on her children and what she does for them. Yet commentary channels like Not Sweet Podcast have taken it as an opportunity to lecture, implying that having money or fame from TikTok somehow obligates her to remain tied to a partner who's been with her from the start. But the reality is different. These critiques often come from a place of judgment, not guidance. It's about entitlement and assumptions, not understanding the nuances of her life. At the end of the day, Mama Beanie is carving her path, prioritizing her children and setting boundaries, because that's what being a parent and a provider truly looks like. Every time Mama Beanie pops up on my For You page, it's almost always with her kids or doing something for them. Most of the time, I scroll past because honestly, her life doesn't impact me. I either engage with her content or I don't. By now, though, most of us have at least seen her with her kids on TikTok. Some viewers comment on how messy her house is, and sure, it's not spotless, but there's a key difference. She's an active mom who genuinely puts effort into her children's lives. She's cooking meals, planning activities, and showing up for her kids in ways that are commendable. That consistency deserves recognition. Yet there's a tension. People often praise her where they would harshly criticize other moms who show messy homes, which raises questions about fairness. Almost a year into her TikTok journey, some argue her house should be more organized and her older kids should be helping more. Then there's the question of her relationship status. One minute she says she has a man, the next she claims she's single. That ambiguity leaves room for judgment, and some see it as letting fame and fortune change her perspective on people who were once close to her. And then there's the broader discussion about responsibility. Some criticize the father for not marrying or providing enough, yet people often overlook the woman's role in repeatedly having children with someone who may not be fully supporting the family. It's a complex situation, yet the conversation online tends to be one-sided, focusing almost exclusively on Mama Beanie while ignoring the broader dynamics at play. Her story sparks debates about accountability, parenting, and the pressures of public life, all while she continues to navigate raising her children under a microscope. All right, let's talk Mama Beanie. She and the man she shares her children with. Honestly, I like her. I only discovered her because of Not Sweet podcast talking about her, which is the reason she even came onto my radar. Even though I'm not usually into mommy content, I'm not a mother and don't plan to be. I went ahead and gave her a follow because she comes across as genuinely likable. That said, I can see where Not Sweet podcast was coming from. Her delivery was harsh and clearly added some drama, but the core of what she said wasn't wrong. Why continue having more children if you can't fully provide for the ones you already have? That logic makes sense, even if her tone was off. From what I can gather, some of the tension may have come from expectations. She thought Mama Beanie would show gratitude for the initial support, and when that didn't happen, the praise turned into criticism. That's my take, at least. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you follow Mama Beanie? Have you heard of her before? And more importantly, what do you think about continuing to have children when you're not fully equipped to care for the first one? Drop your opinions in the comments, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow.